Hello everyone, this is Michelle at michellesizemore.com with one L in my first name. I'm a Creative Memories advisor, and today you'll learn how to make this Valentine's Day border using Creative Memories tools and cardstock for this one. And on this one, I used the Sweet on You collection with designer papers. I don't know if you can tell, but this red paper is actually a designer paper. It's the tone on tone that has little X's and O's on it, and this brown has a stripe. This pink is just cardstock. And then I also used red and white cardstock. So this is the one I'm going to demo for you. This is one I did for a class using only cardstock before we had the Sweet on You collection, and it went over really well. And what I used for the squares is this scallop square punch. I'll show you how that works. And this little punch is for the hearts. This comes in a little trio box. I think it's called, I don't remember exactly, but trio punch kit. It's the only punch kit that we have in a trio right now. All right, let's get started. First, I'm going to grab this, which is my Power Project sleeve that has everything I need to make this. And mostly it's scraps of paper, but I've included some whole pieces of paper too, just in case I need them. So I'm going to take these out. I've already pre-cut some things, but I'm going to show you how I did it. And we'll start by cutting some squares of this red paper from Sweet on You collection with the X's and O's on it. And I'm just going to show you how to do a couple of these, but I've already pre-cut all of them to save time on the video. Now, this is the scallop square punch. It punches a lot of different things, and I'm going to show you some other things over here that I've done with it, but this is all we need is a simple basic square. So when it's set right here, it's on the lock position right there. I believe this is the one we need is position 2, I think. So I'm going to move it to position 2. Okay, and that springs it open. And let's see what we get when I punch this out. So I'm going to put my paper in here, line up as close to the edge as I can to save paper, and punch. And so it punches out 2 things. So I'm going to use this square, and I'll show you some things you can do with this scallop square later. So that's how I did my squares. And I punched out 4 red, 4 of the brown stripe, and 4 pink. Again, I've already done that, so I'm not going to redo that. I just wanted to show you how it works. Now, you could get the same look with your 12-inch trimmer, but you would have to measure and be precise. I love that square punch because it punches the right size square, and they're perfect every time. So there's no like room for error with it unless you just don't punch it right. And then for this punch, this is the little trio punch. We just need the hearts, but it's going to punch out all the little pieces. On the bottom is where you open it to spring it open. And I'll punch out just a few or a couple of the hearts, and you can see how I got that. I'm going to punch a couple. So you get these little hearts, and you get all this other little fallout too. These could be like little moons. These little bitty circles could be like eyeballs or bubbles or all kinds of things based on what you want to punch with it, or the center of flowers, all kinds of things. But we just need the hearts for now. Okay, so that's how I got the squares and the hearts. So let's get started with the basic thing. So I need something to mount the squares onto. So I'm going to cut a piece of white cardstock, and it needs to be skinny enough to both pieces to go under here. I'm going to cut 2 strips. So I'm going to grab my trimmer and so I just need 1 strip of white. Sorry, I was kind of talking about the scallops. I need 1 strip of white. So it needs to be about a little less than 3/4 of an inch, I think. So I'm going to, there's 3/4 of an inch. I'm going to come down just a little bit and make sure it's straight with this grid line all the way down and cut. And that looks about perfect, although I didn't press hard enough to cut it. So let's do that again. I'm going to press harder this time. A little bit less than 3/4 of an inch. There we go. All right, so this is what I need. And I am going to grab my border mat. I always use this when I use adhesive, so it won't get on my table. And I'm going to just very generously go all the way down this, all over it. Usually I tell you not to be generous and to do little dabs, but for this you do, because you're going to put all those little squares on there. So there we go. And let's just put this here so I can look at it. So I've got all my little squares done. And we're going to start with pink, but I'm going to let this, I'm going to put about half of this on here. There's a reason for that. And then let the rest hang off. I'm going to have to cut some off. As you can see, this is smaller. Yeah, I'm good with that. So, okay. The edges had to be cut off to make it fit a 12 by 12 page. So I forgot about that. All right, so I'm going to put my red here, and then this is a directional paper. It has X's and O's, so I just want to make sure those are in the right, you know, going up and down. And then you want to put this completely up against the red, pink, so that no white shows through. And then we're going to do the brown. You could even overlap it just a tiny bit to make sure and then press it down. As you can see, the squares need to be bigger than this strip of paper because you don't want to see the white paper out the edges. So that's why I cut the paper skinnier than the squares. And then you just alternate your squares. This is pink cardstock, the red X's and O's, the chocolate directional paper. Now, I want to alternate the direction. These stripes are going this way. I want these to go this way just to kind of make it interesting. Let me redo that. I did not do very well on that. And you could line this up so that you can get all of your squares straight along that line. It does help a little bit. And then chocolate. And so on. And you would go all the way down doing that. All right. So I'm not going to finish that because you got the idea of how to do it. Now we're going to take, yeah, these are all the little hearts I punched out. Set this aside. Now this is when the lifter stick comes in handy. It's a newer product that we have and I love it. So it's just kind of gummy, rubbery on the end and very flexible. If you want, like I need a red heart right here. Let's do this brown one first right here. And there's a reason I said that. So I just want to pick that up. So if I didn't have this, what I used to do is kind of gross. I would like lick my finger and get it wet and pick it up. Well, that's not the most sanitary thing in the world. So I do this. I love this little thing. So now I'm going to put some repositionable tape runner. I need to get another one because I just used the rest of that one. I'm going to hold my finger down to keep it down and generously put repositionable tape runner on the back there. And now I'm going to put this right here. And then I'm going to grab a pink heart. And put here. And a red heart to put here. And then I'll stop after that one because you'll get the idea. I just realized these were pink on the other side, so I could have just not cut pink cardstock. I could have used that, but that's cool. Okay, let me get over here on my mat. And then you would just continue to alternate like that. Now, I'm not going to do this one yet. I'm going to finish this out. And what's going to happen is I'm going to need to cut a little bit off of each edge of this so that we don't have these squares overlapping, and that meant I had to bring my hearts in a little bit. So I would finish it out, and then I would flip it over and I would cut this edge off right here to match up with this. And that is about how much. I don't know. I didn't measure it. I just eyeballed it, and that's about what it looked like. So here I have a smaller heart, so I'm going to grab this red one, put some tape runner on the back. Repositionable definitely on this. Okay, and it's just going to come in closer. Okay, but that way this will match up, and you'll have to do the same thing to the end over here. So that's how I got this, and just pretend I finished the whole thing off. The next thing, and you know what, I am going to go ahead and add all my squares because it's kind of weird to teach this if I don't. So bear with me a sec. I thought I could save time, but when I show you how to put the scallops on, it'll help if I have all my squares here. Okay, I'm not doing very well here. I need to come back down just a little. I start creeping and going up in my direction. Okay, so here we go. Pink, red, brown, okay, and all the way down. And I tell you what, I'm going to stop there. I know I keep changing my mind because I know that I can take this off. And this is what it would look like when I was done, okay? So, there we go. Now, I'm going to show you how to add the scallops on the edges. Get rid of all these little scraps and put my cover back on my lifter stick so it won't get all dried up. I heard, now I haven't tried this for sure, so I probably shouldn't even say it, but I heard that if it starts to get dried up, the lifter stick, if you could run it under some warm water and then kind of pat it dry, that then it works pretty well. So mine hasn't dried up yet. I've been using it a long time. Okay, so now we've done this. All right, so the next thing I need to do is to get 2 strips like this of scallop. So we grab some white cardstock. Looks like I don't have that. Yeah, here we go. I have it handy. Yeah. Okay. This is a scrap of cardstock. Now, I'm going to use the scallop blade. But first, the straight blades in here, I just want to cut that off so I can get a good 2 clean edges on here. So, now I'm going to look under my trimmer, grab my scallop blade. This is the only blade that matters which side the logo is facing. So, what I want to do is I want to turn it to face my right. Okay, and I'm going to open this up. You just press that little lip open, take the straight blade out, put this in with the logo facing my right, and close it. I'm going to put this in here. This is my strip, and put it at about kind of between 1/2 inch and 3/4. It doesn't matter exactly because a lot of it's going to be underneath your border. You just need to have enough for the tape runner to adhere to it. So that's about right. So I would want to do 2, then I would flip it this way and do it again. So I've got 1 flat edge and 1 scallop edge. So here we go. All right. So now I've got 2 of these, which is what I need. Okay. And the reason it matters which direction you face, I wanted it like this, where I have 1 scallop edge and 1 flat edge. If I'd face it the other way, it would look like a dip instead of a scallop. That's good to do if you want like little waves of water or just a different look. But for this, I wanted a scallop look. Okay, so now I'm going to put some repositionable tape runner all the way down one side, one vertical side of my border. I love that this one is designed for borders, this little mat, and it's great. So I'm going to line this up, make sure it's straight along that grid line, and it is. And then this is the side with the sticky. So I'm going to put this on top, and I just want a little bit of that white scallop to poke out, maybe a little bit more than that, past my border to make it look like it has a scalloped edge. And this is a little bit longer, so I'll cut that off. Or actually what I might do, it probably means I need to add a little bit of a bigger square, because I know this is 12 inches. So I would go back and fix that square and make it just a tad bigger. Okay. Add some repositionable tape runner all the way down that edge. I'm pretty generous with it because I want to make sure this sticks pretty well, but usually I don't have to be super generous with it. Okay, line it up on the grid line. And guys, if y'all want a mat like this, it comes in a set of 3, like a big 12 by 12 mat, this border mat, and then this smaller one, like for cards and die cuts and things. You can order that from me. It's $28. Right now, it's not on the website for clients to see. It's only under advisors. So you could either sign up as an advisor and get it yourself. I mean, it's really easy to be an advisor. I can talk to you about that. It really is easy and worth it to be an advisor. Or you can email me with your info and your email address and your mailing address and your phone number, and I can order it and direct ship to you and send you a PayPal invoice. So either way. So now I'm going to pretend that this is a good square and it's a little bit longer. Okay. But I'm just going to line it up so that it kind of matches that other side. And we have about as much showing on either side. And I think I need to come out just a little bit here. Another reason why I love the repositionable tape runner, it's pliable. So while you're crafting, you can move things without tearing your paper. Yeah, I just need this to be a little bit wider to match up with that other side. I just didn't make it quite wider. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, there we go. Now for now, I'm just going to clip this off. But what I would really do is add another square. Well, let me just do it right. I know I change my mind all the time. So let's just fix this, okay? So I'm going to take this square off. The problem is I eyeballed it and didn't measure it, so I didn't get it right. Okay, so I'm going to put some tape runner on the back here. Match that up. Yeah, I want my patterns to alternate just to make it more interesting. I can overlap that just a little bit. Okay, now that looks good, and what I need to do is look underneath and then cut it. So rather than telling you how I'm going to fix it, I'm going to actually fix it. And then I'm going to grab this little pink heart, put some more tape runner on the back. Y'all, some people for this would use our precision point glue pen, and you can do that. It's just a glue pen and it's really skinny, and you can just put a few dots on the back. But I just prefer this because those glue pens are wet and they're just a little more messy. So I just like using this. So, all right, so that's how I would get that much done. And then all I have to do is add my red edges. So I'm going to grab red cardstock, move that out of the way. Grab my straight blade. Oh, it's over here. So to open it, I'm just popping open that lip, taking this out, putting the straight blade in. It doesn't matter which side the logo faces. It just needs to be curvy side down and closed. That's how easy it is to change the blade. Now, I need 2 strips that are about the size of this. So this is one of them. They don't have to be perfect because some of it's going to be tucked up underneath. A little bit less than 3/4 of an inch is good. It's what I think is good. And there we go. So I've got, and I would do this other one. See, they're a little different, but it's fine. I didn't measure exact. Okay, so now I'm going to finish this up. So we're going to just go down and be kind of generous with the repositionable tape runner. And I'm going to line this up with that grid line right there. I like grid lines. Okay, and then stick this down. And I like for about that much of the red to show. I think this is super cute. And then I'm going to do the same to the other side. And then we'll be done. And I'm going to show you some other ideas I used that scallop square punch for Valentine's Day. And you can see how versatile that punch is. Okay, so my border, oh, I just messed it up. No, learn from what I just did, okay? Let me stick this back down. It came apart because I didn't press it down. When you stick things down using this repositionable tape runner or the regular tape runner too, just press it really well and make sure everything sticks. Okay, and then when it won't come up on you. And then over time, that repositionable tape runner will settle in and become more permanent. And I can see, I keep fixing my mistakes. I can see I got a little crooked. So I'm going to fix that. And now I'm pretty happy with that. So I do need to clean this up a little bit because you can see this little jaggedy edge right here. So I'm going to kind of go underneath that brown and just snip that to clean it up. And I am happy. There's my border. Now let me show you all these other things that I did with that scallop punch, because you get scallops like this. You get all kinds of things that punch out. So this punch has 3 different positions. This is the lock position. These are 3 different positions, and you get different size things with each one. So I'm going to show you here what I did with all the other sizes, just playing around with it. That's how we say playing in the South, playing. I know I sound Southern. I try not to be too Southern, but it's just what it is. And I want to show you this too. So this is with the Valentine's Day kit. This is with just cardstock. So I used a bright red and a cranberry red, pink and brown and white, and got the same look with just cardstock. So if all you have is cardstock and you don't want to buy it's the Sweet on You collection, that you can just do it with cardstock. Okay, so here are all the other ideas I did with the different things that punch out. Okay, so these squares are the same as what we used in the border, and I just added black sans serif letters, white sans serif letters. Now this is a solid a scallop frame that punches out. So you could use it like a frame, or you could put a square over it. So I put a square over it, and then added, these are our regular black sticker letters. So that's the scallop frame with the pink square over it and black sticker letters. This is the big, I think this is the big solid square. Yeah, that's a big solid square. And this is a scallop square. And I put the scallop square on top and put black sticker letters. All of these were the same way. I just put different things on them. So you could add cute little Valentine's Day stickers. You could add the X's and O's. Lots of things. And then this shows some of the smaller things that punch out. It punches out this that almost looks like a little postage stamp look, kind of. And then this square, and then I just mounted the little postage stamp size. I mean, it's smaller than a postage stamp. It just kind of looks like a postage stamp to me. And then I added little hearts. Some of the hearts were stickers, and some of the hearts were with this punch. Now, we used to have, if y'all have this love letters, it was a punch, and it punches this out. So I punched it out, and it punched these letters out. So I put these letters on the scallop squares, and then this I just put over pink, so the pink shows through. And I made this scalloped because we didn't have one that big with the 12-inch trimmer and the scallop blade. I just had to kind of rig that. You could do it without the scallop. Anyway, You could just use the squares with little stickers. You could use the little squares and the little postage stamp look. Anyway, lots and lots of things. I also did fall stuff with it. I don't have that handy. I think I showed that on my fall crop, but I did a lot of fall things with it just by changing the colors and the stickers. So it's a very, very versatile punch. It's a little more expensive than the regular punches. This one's, I think it's $28.50, where our regular size punches, standalone punches, are $24.50. But you get so much out of it. So thank y'all for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.